So work
Like
from home.
from New Jersey, so it's a best place right now in Delaware. We have very low cases. New Jersey has more than 1 lakh.
Okay, everyone, for your information, we are live in YouTube now.
So, sir, till now we have 28 participants.
ஹலோ யூடியூப் லைவ் இப்போ ஹோல்ட் பண்ணி அந்த 5 மணிக்கே போட்டுக்கலாம், இல்லைன்னா மற்றவங்க பேசுறதுலாம் லைவ் ஆகும்ல. இல்லை லைவ் அந்த லிங்க் அமுச்சு விடுறதுக்கு மற்றவங்க ஷேர் பண்ணுறதுக்கு, அதனால 5 மணிக்கு லைவ் போட்டு விட்டுறேன். Hi Karishma, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Doing good. Nice to see all people here on platform to share your experiences.
Thank you for inviting, sir.
Hope people will get benefited. So what is the time now there?
It's 6:27 a.m. in Texas.
Okay.
In Michigan and Delaware, it's 7:27.
7:27.
Yeah.
So best of luck for your presentation. Hemal
Thank
will
you, sir.
cover the things.
Yes, sir.
Hemal, you can do all the other setups.
Yes, sir. So we'll start within 2 minutes. So still 4:58. So within 2 minutes we'll start. So before start, I request all the participants to mute your mic as well as your video. And if anybody have any question or any doubt, please ask your question into the chat box only. And last 10 minutes we will provide you for the question answer round.
Video start થઈ ગયો છે. I'll call you soon. I'll text you. Bye.
Again, I request all the participants to please mute your mic.
Hemant sir, you're on mute.
Hemant sir, your video, your viewer is unmute.
Okay. Am I audible to all of you? Okay. Very good afternoon, all of you, and I welcome all the participants as well as all the speakers on the behalf of Ashok and Ita Patel Institute of Physiotherapy, CHARUSAT. Today we are organizing the second webinar that is on the dreams to reality, becoming a licensed physiotherapist in USA. And today with us, three our alumni, those who are already passed the license exam in USA. And before that, I just thanks to Bala sir as well as the Prakash sir to provide this such a platform to the all the participants as well as our alumni. Myself, Hemal Patel, I am the assistant professor in Ashok and Ita Patel Institute of Physiotherapy, as well as I am a secretary of the Alumni Association of Ashok and Ita Patel Institute of Physiotherapy. So first I'll introduce Dr. Karishma Shah. She's from the USA, Texas, and she's from the 2009 batch. And currently she's working as a skilled nursing faculty in Dallas, Texas. She's also a certified dementia practitioner, and currently she's also supervising the therapist for the multiple physical therapy assistant also. So I'll request Dr. Karishma to begin with the session. Over to you, Dr. Karishma Shah.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. So I thought about going over the technical parts, but I think that's something that anybody who's gonna prepare to come to USA would have an idea about. Like technical parts as in GRE, TOEFL, which master's program to go for. So rather than going for something that you can easily Google up, I thought I'll share some advices that I got when I was preparing and some things that I wish I had known while I was preparing to come to US. So I started my GRE preparation during my internship period. And I would tell everyone that that is the best time to prepare for it, because during your internship, you don't have any exam or anything to worry about. So that's the best 6 months that you can give yourself to prepare for GRE and TOEFL. I think I took like maybe 6 months. I prepared for GRE. I gave my GRE in January 2014. Gave my TOEFL in March 2014, and then I started doing my college applications. Many a times people ask me why I did masters in US and not masters in India. Honestly, there is no perfect answer for that, which one to choose for. But if your eventual plan is to come to US, then rather than doing masters in India, I would rather do it in US, because some states, some some credentialing services require you to have a master's degree. Also, many of us don't know this, that our bachelor's degree from India is actually equivalent to master's degree in US, master's in physical therapy in US. So rather than choosing master's in physical therapy, you can either choose athletic training or something that interests you more. The other thing that I've had people ask me is whether to go for a master's program or a DPT, Doctorate of Physical Therapy program. Again, that there's no perfect answer to this. The main difference that I took into consideration was the the fees difference between Masters of Physical Therapy and Doctorate of Physical Therapy is huge. So I, rather than going for Doctorate of Physical Therapy, chose to do master's in exercise physiology. And then once I cleared my master's in exercise physiology, I gave my license exam, started earning, made a living out of my license. And then once I was capable of sponsoring myself for my doctorate, I went ahead and got that. The other thing that involves in the process while you decide to come to US and the process of coming to US is your college applications. There are various things included, like writing a statement of purpose, making a resume, uh, getting letters of recommendations, your GRE, your TOEFL. Some universities will also ask you for a grade conversion, because in India we study based upon 10 GPA, and in US they follow the 4-point GPA system. And FCCPT does do the grade conversion, but when I did my applications, I actually went for a service called EC Credentialing services, and they are quite cheaper compared to FCCPT grade conversion. So if you are just getting your grades converted just for the application purpose, I would rather go to EC rather than going to FCCPT. The other thing that I noticed while I was going through the application process was which universities to choose for. The most important thing is, if somebody tells you that a university is not going to ask for GRE or is not going to ask for TOEFL, then I would not choose that university. Because if a university is not asking for it, that itself is a red flag to you. Because most of the universities, most of the good, well-known universities, not even well-known, but just if it's a nice, reputed university, it would definitely ask you for GRE and TOEFL. Plus, these days, you would have heard on different social medias about fake universities, frauds where they take the application money, they ask you to pay for your I-20s and everything, and then in reality, there is no university there. So be careful when you apply. GRE, try and score at least above 300. There's like, unlike the engineering and the other technical fields, there is not a hard limit on how much we need to score. But if you score more than 300, you have options for good universities. TOEFL, definitely try and score more, especially if you are somebody like me who's going to come to US on student visa and then work their way up to H1B, I-140 green card. Because some states, and especially type 1 services, which you require for your H1 application, they do need your TOEFL score. And not just any TOEFL score. They have a specific criteria. They would ask for reading, speaking, listening, writing. So make sure you do good in all of those. Speaking, especially because all of us don't have our mother tongue as English, make sure you don't try and sound smart or just keep talking till the, like, because you have a specific time frame. Make sure you don't keep talking till the end of that time. It's not important how much you talk. It is more important to be grammatically correct, like space out your words. The best practice that you can do is talk to yourself, record your voice, and try to listen to it, or have your friends listen to it. Just pick up a topic, speak for it for like 10 minutes, and then share that audio clip with either your friends, or you yourself can be your own critic. Try and listen to it, see if it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense to you, you know it's not going to make sense to anybody else. So make sure and try to stick to the topic. Don't just try and speak something just to cover up the time frame. They don't care of how long you speak. It's more important of how relevant you speak to it. Same thing for the writing section. Make sure you take care of your grammars. Don't make silly mistakes, punctuations and all that. Try and be more careful about that. That covers the college applications part mostly. There's a lot that goes into it. Honestly, it just, to cover it all in one session is difficult. The other thing that I wanted to cover with you guys was something where the whole life of an international student, the challenges that I have faced, I've heard about other people facing. Because if you, like, again, if you're somebody like me, I have an aunt who lives in New Jersey, thousands of miles away from me. So the state that I chose, I had nobody I knew, no, like nobody that had friends here, none. But once you get once you get accepted into a university, try and look up the Indian association. Most of the universities in US have their Indian associations. So try and look those up. They'll have Facebook pages, or you can even ask your international student services to hook you up with them. So they'll give you the contact details. You can email them, reach them out on WhatsApp if they have WhatsApp. They are very helpful in providing you transportation, housing, helping you get settled in. And trust me, all of this makes a huge difference, because especially when you just flew out of your country thousands of miles away, and then you have no idea where to go, what to do, what milk to buy, where to get groceries from. This all helps. Make more friends, stay in touch with your seniors. If you know somebody who's already been there in the country or in that state, I can assure you, if somebody's here, they'll be more than happy to help you, because we've all gone through something that you'll be going through in the next couple of years, couple of months. So just ask for help. Don't hesitate, ask for help, and I'm sure they'll be more than happy to help you guys. The another important topic is employment. I don't know if you all know this, but as a student on F1 visa, you can only work on campus. You cannot work off campus. But luckily, there are various job opportunities on campus. There are jobs like research assistant, graduate assistant. You can work in library, you can work in computer departments, you can work in cafeterias. There are several jobs. And most of the universities have their own website and something called blackboards. Blackboards are basically a student interface thing. And you can find all these details on their blackboards. Try and build contacts. Try and talk to your professors. Let them know that you are interested in looking for a job. Try and reach out to other people on campus, not just Indians. You can ask other friends, see what kind of jobs they know about. Try and involve yourself more in, because honestly, the master's program is not that intense in US. You'll be having classes like maybe 3 nights a week, or I can assure you, it's not like India where you'll have like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 9 to 5. You'll never have that for master's program in US, never. And other than that, you won't have much to do. So I would definitely look for an on-campus job, not just that would help you make a sustainable life out of it, but you can also keep yourself engaged and not get bored. Plus, you can use that time to prepare for your license exam. Many people ask me if they should get their FCCTP evaluation done before they come to US or after. Definitely before, because the time frame that currently goes into it, it's very long. But most of the technical parts about the FCCPT, I think Bhuvnesh is going to cover about it. So he'll help you with those questions. Other than that, honestly, there were a few things that I wanted to address. One is STEM versus non-STEM program. Most of people, physical therapists from India who come to US, there are 2 programs that they would usually choose, either Masters in Exercise Physiology or Masters in Kinesiology. Honestly, both of them are quite similar to each other. There are little variations, but pretty much similar. The other thing is, in US, there is not a standard guideline. Like in India, if you study from whatever universities you study from, your subjects and your curriculum would be pretty much similar. It isn't the exact same in US. Universities do follow a guideline, but then they have their own major variations. So go for the university, the program that which interests you more. You can find out about the professors, and all these information you can easily look up on their websites. But when it comes to choosing between Masters in Exercise Physiology and Masters in Kinesiology, go for Exercise Physiology. The simplest reason behind it is Masters in Exercise Physiology is a STEM program. When you do a STEM program compared to a non-STEM program, you get a STEM OPT. OPT is basically a work visa that you get after finishing your master's program. OPT is for 1 year. You get OPT irrespective whether you have done a STEM program or a non-STEM program. But The benefit about doing a STEM program is once that 1 year OPT gets over, you get 2 more additional years of STEM OPT. So basically, after finishing your master's program, you get 3 years of legal employment in US. These 3 years are very crucial because during this period, you'll be applying for your H-1B work visa. And you all know H-1B application is a lottery system. So it doesn't matter if you're a master's program or a doctorate program, or it doesn't matter of what field you are in. As long as you've applied, it goes under one pool. They draw a certain number from that. And if you get picked, you get picked. If you don't, you don't. So having 3 chances for lottery is definitely better than having 1 chance. So always go for the master's program. Especially don't care about how fancy your state is, because once you finish your master's, you can always move out of that state. Go for a good university. Don't go for just don't go for a university because it's in Miami or California. Just make sure your university is good. It has a good program. Once you start earning, you can move to any part of US you want. Just for your student life, try and make sure it's not a very fancy university. To be honest, when I applied, I had a certain budget that I irrespective of how good the university is, I knew I wouldn't accept it if it was beyond my budget. So if you are somebody like me, make sure you check the fee structure, plus reach out to somebody who's already studying there, and they'll be able to tell you what is an average living cost in that city. I think that's all that I've thought of from my end. But if there's something that any of you guys want to ask, I know we have a question and answers seminar at the end of this. But if there's anything specific that you guys would like to ask me right now, I'm happy to answer for you all.
Okay, thank you, Karisma, for your wonderful sharing your wonderful experience as well as your knowledge to our participants. Definitely, many of we have a question, but question answer round we will planning in the at the end of the session only. Right. So thank you so much. Next, I'll call our second speaker. Is in a 2011 batch. He did his BPT as well as his MPT from the Ashok Nita Patel Institute of Physiotherapy. He is in a Bhunesh Patel, right? And currently he's in a Delaware. Currently he's working as a physical therapist at the Phonexia Rehabilitation and Health Service, Delaware, USA. Apart from that, he's also an NPTEL study buddy team member also, and definitely he will sharing such a good information to all the participants. So I'll request Bhunesh Patel to share your experience with our participants. Over to you, Bhunesh Patel.
Thank you, Hemal sir. And thank you, first of all, Dr. Bala sir and Prakash sir and all our ARIP family to allowing me for this opportunity to share my experience with all of you. So let me just go ahead and share my screen. So most of the thing I'm going to share like documentation process from starting FCCPT up to the exams results, what you have to do, what kind of applications you have to do, how much amount of payment you have to pay for the applications, and about the remaining things like if you have to go for some kind of criminal background check or like your credit evaluations and all. So basically starting from FCCPT, so it's a credentialing agency which will match the credits, which will check your transcripts and mark sheets and syllabus. Another one, you have to do the state board application. So whichsoever you are interested in, like you're going for the New Jersey or you're going for the Delaware or New York, you have to contact your state board and you have to fill the application for physical therapist. Third one is FSPPT, so which is conducting the exams. So FSPPT, you have to register in that. they will allow you to take the Prometric Center seat, and then you have to go for the exam preparation, which gonna cover by Shivani ma'am, and exam results. How to see that? I'll explain you everything. So let me start ahead with FCCPT application. So FCCPT is like a foreign credential of physical therapy. If you will go on fccpt.org, you will find this page, and they have given a really good information on for the new applicants. Like if I'm applying first time, I have a questions like which type of service should I select? If I do have an immigration or I do have a student visa, if I have to apply for the H1. Once you go into the new applications, you just have to fill out that information. They will guide you in a better way, like what type of application you have to pick, and then start with the apply now. Okay, so FCCPT basically it's providing 4 types of services, primary services. Type 1 certificates, as Karishma says, like those who are going for the H1 or H1B visa, like for them, we have to go for the type 1 certificate. Then another one, California state required a type 1 certificate. Educational credential review. If you are going for the other state, then you have to go for the educational credential review. New York State has their separate credential evaluation from the FCCPT. So this is like the third one over here. You have to just select that type of application. Okay, so these are some fee structure. Like type 1 review will cost you $1,340. Educational credential review will cost you $1,240. And if you're applying for the PTA, which will cost you $975. The effective date for these charges are from 1st of January 2020. Now, once you're ready for, I'm going to explain you about the educational credential review. Once you're ready for the review, you just have to go for apply now. You have to do complete online applications and you have to pay the full amount at the same time. After that, you will get one file number. Just write it down somewhere or make sure like take a screenshot, please save it with you. At the time of login, you need that application ID number. So here you can put the credentials, file number, last name and date of birth and country of birth. And then you can log in into that application. So this is like my screen. Once you log in, you will find whichever state you selected, your type of service, educational credential review, whether service status, whether it's started, it's completed, or it's still in pending. Then they will show you the service start date and service end date too. So I applied for the educational credential review first in 2016. So here is my review. And after that, I found like they found 1 leaking credit after my bachelor. So I did like that course, online course, and then I went through the re-evaluation. And again, they were sent the report to my state board for the equivalency. And recently I applied for New York State verification, and still the review is not started because of this pandemic situation. Trade is stopped, so they haven't received my documents yet in the FCCPT. So that's the thing. Now, once you log in into the application, you will find a form library on the left-hand side, and you have to go into that. There are some number of forms that you have to submit after your application. So first, if you're going for the type 1 review or educational credential review, there are different types of forms are available in the library. First one is attestation from PT credential. So basically you have to take a printout or download that form, fill out that application. You just have to attach your passport size photo, notary, and you have to submit it to the FCCPT. So you have to mail it to them. Then another one is a request for a PT academic credential verification, and the second last. So for that form, you have to fill out part 1 by yourself and then submit it to your institute. Institute will submit the syllabus, mark sheets, and transcript. Along with that, your internship completion certificate and degree certificate, and whatever the other required documents, they will submit it to the FCCPT. So that's for the type 1 review and educational credential review. Now, if you are applying for the New York credential, so there is some difference in academic credential verification. So the second point over here in New York State academic credential verification request form. Basically in educational and type 1, we used to send it to our institute. But New York State, we have to send it to FCCPT, and FCCPT will request the documents from your university. So that's the difference. So there are some service timeline. If you are selecting a type 1 review, as Karishma says, like if you are preparing for your for the United States, and if you are preparing for your license exam, you want to go for to become a licensed PT, make sure if you got the visa, just right away start the credential services on from FCCPT or whichever credential agency you want to pick. Because it's gonna take, like, if you have to go for type 1 or like an educational credential review, it's gonna take 6 months, 26 working week for completion. And if, for the New York credential verification, approximately 7 working days. But even though you can see in my application, this is like, once the service will start, they will take approximately 2 weeks to complete. So that's why, like, if you are planning, just start before you come over here. So that's how, like, you'll be done with your credentials. And if you are coming up with some laking credits, you have to complete that credits, and then you have to do it, do the re-evaluation. So coursework tool version. So basically, what is coursework tool? So it will like check your credentials, your transcript. It will match the transcripts and your syllabus and your mark sheets. So whatever the documents you're submitting, they will review it in the coursework tool, and they will find out the laking credits or your like equivalent, or your credits are equivalent to the United States. So that's the coursework tool version. Usually most of the states are accepting coursework tool 6, which is the latest one. And few of the states still accepting CWT 5. For example, Connecticut still accepting CWT 5. On a basis of CWT 5, I will show you what type of credits you require, and basis of CWT 6, what type of credits you require. I'm gonna share it with you. So according to the CWT 5, this is like my credential review summary. I did my master's in rehab from ARIP, and according to the CWT 5, total credits require 150, but it's like 192.65, and there is no laking credit according to the CWT 5 in this. But now, if we are going, so okay, this is the one. After the completion of the evaluation, they send me the substantially equivalent of my equivalency. On basis of CWT 6, after BPT, the minimum required credit is 170. But after BPT, you are getting 149.54. This is completely from the ARIP one. Probably if you have mild changes in the syllabus, you might get, it might vary from plus or minus 5. So what type of course are laking in this? So they will send you the evaluation report, and they will mention on the paragraph, like on the evaluation findings that warrant referral. So one course, plan of care; second, implementation intervention, mechanical agent, wound debridement, supervision of the staff, and discharge. This type of course, we are like course are laking in our syllabus, so we have to complete these courses, and then only they will give us the equivalency. So that was basis on the BPT. Now I'm going to share you after the NPTE in rehabilitation on CWT 6. So total credit require 170, but according to the CWT 6, we are getting 194.59 credits after NPTE. But still we are laking in 4 topics, so that we have to collect the credits from the different universities. The first one is plan of care and implementation intervention, mechanical agent, wound debridement, and discharge. These 4 credits we are laking after masters. So you just have to take that courses. You can complete it from the various universities, and I'm gonna share you that university list. So Philippine Rehabilitation Institute, which will give you the opportunity to complete your courses online. And University of St. Augustine, if the one who if on the basis of CWT 5, if you have a laking credit of consultancy, screening, and delegation, you can complete it from the University of St. Augustine. And Kent State University, that will give you not online course, but it's like in present you have to go to the Ohio State to complete the mechanical agent and wound debridement course from the Kent State University. You can do some research if any other state or any other universities are offering any courses, but make sure that the transcript should be accepted by the credential agency. Then only go for the university. Otherwise, don't waste your money on that. Okay, so that was all about the FCCPT. Now we have some other credential agencies too. For example, IERF, ICA, ICD, ICE, and CGFNS. But make sure you have to contact to your board. Hey, I'm planning for the credential evolution, and whether are you going to accept only FCCPT or any other agency? So if they say is like from state of Delaware, they are accepting ICD, International Consultant of Delaware. So I can go for the credential, but make sure you're going to stay in that state. And in future, if you're planning to move to other state, then you have to again verify with that state that will you be accept the credential from ICD? If they says no, then FCCPT is the best place. Like they can give you a duplicate report for the another state. And for New York and California, you have to do the separate application. So these are some other credential agencies that you can work on that. Okay, so this is the first portion of FCCPT or credentialing. The next one is once you get the substantial equivalency, like this kind of report, then you can go and you have to contact your state board. So I applied for the state of Delaware. So just I'm showing my experience. Over here, I went to the Division of Professional Regulation, and then I did the application, just have picked the application for the physical therapist, and I just downloaded it. And it was, some of the states will allow you to do online application. Some of the state, you have to do a written application in that. So basically my state is accepting only written applications. So what I did, it's like, just have to fill out the information, then attach your degree and credentials in that. It should be notarized. So once you're done with that all things, you have to put the fingerprints for the criminal background check. And then I put the money order or like the check to pay for the application. And every state has a different like fees. It's not the same. The Delaware has $100 fees. It's just an example. The New Jersey has the same fee. No, it may vary. That depend on the board of the state. After the submission, you have to allow 15 to 21 days to review your application and then wait for the approval. So that's the second step. So state of Delaware, they approved my request to take the NPTE, and they are giving a really good information. Once they approved it, in the second paragraph, they mentioned that now you can go on FSBPT and you can register for the exam. So you just have to go on FSBPT, an exam candidate. So this is like, they will conduct the exam. Now you just have to go, and if you're a foreign trained and first time taker, you just have to go and register over here. Or the application fees for that is $485. They will ask you for your basic demographic information and also about your credentials and your institute. Okay. After that, you have, after the completion of application, you will go on step 3. There is a register for the exam. And as soon as you're done with that, what they will do, they will verify your eligibility with your board where you did the application. So over here, I did the application in state of Delaware. So when I registered for my exam, they went back and they again checked with my state of Delaware, like, okay, this person is eligible. Once my state is approved my eligibility, then you can able to register for the date. Then you can able to schedule for your exam. So over here, once your state will approve, you will get the authorization to test letter. And your eligibility ID is important to register for the exam date. So over here, you will find like your register ID, eligibility ID. And then you have to go on a Prometric Center website. On a Prometric Center website, you have to just go on the test taker, write down in the search box FSBPT, and you can click on the FSBPT. After that, you have to put the eligibility ID, which was given in the ATT letter over here. And then just you have to put the remaining information like about your last name and all. Okay. Then you have to select the appointment. you have to select the test center, which is closer to your house. Then about the date, sometimes in July, if the NPTE, sometimes they give a 2 dates, and sometimes there is only 1 date available. And likewise, you have to complete the application, then verify the application and complete it, submit it. After you submit it, you will get this kind of a screen on FSBPT application that you schedule your exam in XYZ state or like a city. The next step is the preparation. So exam preparation will be taken care by the Shivani ma'am. I just want to share my personal experience. When I started my exam preparation, it was a little bit difficult. So I joined the study buddy classes, and they were guiding me since from the beginning to the end until I passed the exam. And they gave me strategies like how to prepare for the exam, then what kind of techniques that we have to use, and what type of the questions they can ask. So that's kind of support has given by study buddy team to me. So I really say, like, if you want to join, you can definitely join that too. The next one is, now you're ready for the exam. So what you have to do, you already registered for the Prometric Center for the exam date. So you have to go there and you have to bring 2 ID proof. The first one is going to be your driving license or passport or state identification card of United States. And secondary ID proof, there should be a credit card, ATM card, or a school ID card, but there should be your name on that card. So make sure you need a 2 primary and secondary identification proof. Okay. And then you have to take the exam, and then you will see the result. This is my result. Like, I gave my exam in Clark, New Jersey, and that's it. And if you have any questions, anything, you can shoot me an email. You can contact me on this number. And end of the session, we can go ahead for the question answer if anyone have. And don't worry about the credential process. It's a little bit complicated, but it's easy. Don't worry. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Hammer.
Thank you, Bhunesh Patel, for sharing your experience and knowledge regarding the process of license exam in USA. Definitely, this will help to many of our participants, those who have a dream to become a licensed physiotherapist in USA. Now, our third speaker, I'll call Dr. Shivani Bhatt. She is from 2009 batch, and she did her BPT as well as her MPT from the Ashok and Rita Patel Institute of Physiotherapy. At present, she's in Michigan state, and currently she is working as a clinical therapist at the Right Step Rehabilitation Solution at Michigan. And apart from that, she is a tutor as well as the mentor at NPTE Study Buddy Center. So I'll welcome you, Shivani Bhatt, and I'll request to share your experience and knowledge regarding the license exam in the USA.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Bala sir and ARIP team, for providing me this opportunity to share my experience in regards to NPTE preparation. So let me share my screen with you. Give me a minute. Okay, so Karishma and Bhunesh has very beautifully explained that if you are planning to come to States on a student visa, and if you are planning to appear for NPTE, how should be the procedure, what all things you need to know. But once you are done with all of this, once you're eligible for the exam and you know that, okay, your exam is in coming 3 months, 6 months, let's say, and you are confused now how to start with your preparation. So this is the content that I'll be focusing on in today's webinar. So most of you know me, and for those who does not know me, as Himal sir has said that I have done my bachelor's as well as master's from ARIP, and after that I have even worked there as an assistant professor for 2 years. After that, I moved to the States last year in the month of September, and in the next month of October, I appeared for the examination and could clear it. Currently, I'm working as a physical therapist in a private clinic, and I have a passion of teaching. And I'm pursuing that passion by mentoring the students who are willing to appear for NPTE. So starting with how you should start with your NPTE preparation. Firstly, I'll give you the overview of how the exam is, what things you would expect to see in the exam, how it will go, what is the length of it and the stuff. If I talk about the duration, it is too long. It is 5 hour long examination. So this 5 hour examination will not only check your knowledge, your intelligence, your skills that you have learned in this many years in the field of physical therapy, but will also check whether you are able to use that knowledge for 5 hours, whether you are able to sustain your endurance, mental as well as physical for those 5 hours. See, I tell everyone that when United States of America is giving you a license to practice as a physical therapist, it is not going to be easy. They will check you from all the perspectives. See, you are going to work in a clinic for long hours. You will be seeing the patient one after another. So you need to have that mental as well as physical endurance. And that's why this examination is this long, because they will check each and everything that you have learned from your first day of bachelor's till now. So it is this long. And if I talk about number of questions that you will be encountering in the exam, so it will be 250. But fortunately or unfortunately, out of these 250 questions that you will be answering, only 200 will be counted. Okay, the thing is, the remaining 50 questions, which although you have answered and they would not be counting, is that they are just trying to check out how the students are approaching those questions, and I can say that they are conducting kind of research so that they can ask similar type of questions in the coming exams. So those mock or dummy 50 questions are of no use. So once you are out of the examination hall and you feel that, okay, only if I was not sure about, let's say, few of the questions, you are not sure that those few questions are to be counted or not counted, no one will ever let you know that which questions will be counted and which one will not be counted. So always treat each question in a way that that is going to be counted and will decide your destiny. Okay, if I talk about type of questions they ask, it is very simple. Most of you would be knowing that it is multiple choice questions in which you will be having 4 options, and out of those 4 options, only one option will be correct. See, why I'm emphasizing on this is that many a times when I was preparing as a student for this examination, I used to feel that, okay, maybe 2 answer can also be correct when I was looking at a question, because I was not able to differentiate the fine difference between 2 options which looked almost similar. But with time, with more of practice and with more experience with this type of questions, you will be able to differentiate that minute difference, and ultimately you will be able to pick up the most appropriate answer out of those 4 options available to you. So as I have said, you will be having 250 questions. So this 250 questions will be divided into 5 sections. So basically each section will have 50 questions in it. And considering the time frame that you have for this exam is 5 hours, so it is very obvious that you will be having 1 hour for each session, so nearly 70 seconds to deal with one question. Okay, so the question is whether you will be getting any break in between or not. Okay, so there is a scheduled break of 15 minutes after 100 questions, that is after second session. Okay, now whether you should opt for that break or not, my answer is always yes. See, anyway, even if you are not going to use that break, it is not going to add on to your exam time. If I feel that, okay, without taking the break, I'm investing, and now I will be having more time to appear for the exam, I'll be having more time to solve the questions. No, it does not work that way. The 15-minute break is there even if you take it or you do not take it. If you feel that, okay, I'm done in 5 minutes and I really do not wish to extend my break, I just want to get rid of this exam as soon as possible, as soon as you begin with section 3, you will be left with remaining time that you have not invested in the remaining in the initial 2 section. So my advice is always go for this break. Now, what are things you can do in the break? That is very crucial. move around, because see, you have been sitting in one position for 2 hours and you will be sitting in the same position for coming 3 hours as well. So that is going to be pretty difficult. So get up, move around. You can use the restroom, have a glass of water. You can also have a protein bar or something that will help you have good amount of energy to sustain through the coming 3 hours. But always utilize this 15 minutes because that is very crucial and it will help you to sustain through 5 hours of examination. After this, okay, starting with how should you start with your preparation? First and foremost thing is you need to know the content. See, if I feel that I'm very good in lymphatics and I think that, okay, we might get to see more of lymphatic patients, or after completion of my NPTE examination, I wish to work in a setting which specifically deals with lymphatic conditions. So I'll be emphasizing more into that. But maybe that investment of time might not yield me benefits. The reason it all depends on how the questions are distributed amongst the systems, amongst the domains. As I said about lymphatics, as you can clearly see on your screen, that in lymphatics you can get to see around 3 to 8 questions out of 200 questions, 200 counted questions. So if I'm not lucky enough, I'll just get 3 questions on lymphatics, even if I have spent months after reading it. So as you start with your preparation, you need to know that how much time you have to invest after each system. You can clearly see that musculoskeletal, neurology, and cardiorespiratory has got the maximum portion of your NPTE content. So obviously you are supposed to invest more time after it. See, it is obvious, even if you will be working in India, you get to see more of musculoskeletal and neuro patients on day-to-day basis. So here it is obvious that after clearing your NPTE, whether you are working in a clinic or you are into academics and training students to be a clinical therapist in the future, whosoever is going to treat the patient will be seeing more of musculoskeletal patient. That's why maximum question will be related to that. Okay, from where can you get this outline of the content? So here is the link, and it is available on FSBPT website, so you can access it at any point of time. So just go through it, and you have to prepare accordingly and invest your time accordingly. Second thing is which books you should use in order to prepare for the examination. The common questions that is being asked to me by the students are, do I need to start with anatomy? Do I need to read Sambulingam, Hirschmohan? The answer is no. The reason is, see, if you start from the basic, you will never able to reach here. However, the basics are very important. How to read the basics, I'll tell you in the coming slides. But never ever start from BD Chaurasia and feel that, okay, I'll start with whatever I have learned in first year of BPD, then I'll go ahead with second year, third, and finally I'll be able to have all the content done, and then I'll be all set to appear for NPTE. No, it does not work that way. You are wasting your time and you are not utilizing in the maximum level possible. So first and foremost thing, you need to have these books with you. Okay. Therapy Aid, National Physical Therapy Exam Review and Study Guide. Both of these are review and study guides. So they will just guide you with the preparation. They will just tell you what content is important and what content is not important. Whatever you find in these books are important only. See, but entire whatever you learn in 4 years of bachelor's is being included in this book. So imagine how superficially they would have covered the content. So as you will go through this book, you will realize that, okay, many a times you are not able to get the information which is given in these books. So at that time, in order to clear your concept, you always need to go back and refer your textbooks, your reference books. Even if it means referring BD Chaurasia, obviously you have to do that, but do not start from there. Start from these, and as and when you find that there is a need to go through your basics again just to clear up your concept, always do that. Okay, See, therapy, the book that you can see on the left is your therapy, and the one on the right is Score Builder. Both of these come up with their new edition each year. If I have to choose one between these two, I'll surely go ahead with Therapy Aid. The thing is, after appearing for NPTE, I realized that most of the content that were asked in the examination has been covered in this book. However, from a student and a reader point of view, Score Builder is surely more reader friendly because it has those content given beautifully in form of tables, flowchart, diagrams. So always have Score Builder next to you. So whenever you're finding it difficult to memorize few things, you can always take help of Score Builder. But as a primary review book, always have your Therapy Aid, because that will surely help you to cope up with the content that might be asked in your examination. Now, other books, these are the common books which you need to refer. And I'm pretty sure you are aware about these books. So again, the question is, do I need to read whole of this book? The answer is no. See, whenever most of the questions will be somewhere around diagnosis, prognosis, and intervention. So whenever you are not very comfortable with any content, any topic, you always need to open up this book and clear your concept by reading through diagnosis, prognosis, and intervention. In this way, it is very important to go through these reference books. If tomorrow, if you are preparing for any for this examination and you are not sure from where to read or how much to read from this book, you can always reach me out, because at this point of time in this webinar, it is difficult to cover the contents to be read from each of this book. But whenever you have any question, you can always reach me out. Okay, this is the most important step. As you're preparing and as your NPTE is approaching nearer, it is very important for you to appear for practice exam. The reason is, the more practice exam you will give, the more your mind and brain will be trained in a way that you have to be seated for 5 hours. You need to keep your brain active for 5 hours. You will get to see 250 questions, how to approach those questions, how to activate your brain in a way that you are able to give your 100% for all of those questions, how to sustain your energy till the last hour of the exam. So all of these things can be learned only through practice exams. And that's why practice exams are the key for clearing NPTE. Okay, so from where can you get these practice exams? So I have just mentioned 2 review and study guides, that's Therapy Aid and the Score Builder. So each of this book comes with 3 online examination. You can always appear for those. Other than that, Bhunesh has already mentioned that FS BPT will take care of your exam eligibility. FS BPT also has another feature. It will not just take care of your exam eligibility, it will also help you to be prepared for exam. So in order to prepare you, they provide you with 2 examination in form of PIT. You can always buy PIT, it is around $100. And you get 2 examination in that, and you are able to access that examination for 90 days. And that PIT examination is very much similar to NPTE examination. So the score that you might get to see in your PIT exam, you might expect to get similar type of result in your final exam as well. So in this way, these exams are very, very important. Okay, one more thing I would like to emphasize at this point of time is, see, it is always better to learn from our mistakes. Why are you appearing for this practice exam? It is not just to develop your endurance, but also to know that which are your weak areas. And whenever you know that these are your weak areas, for let's say if I have always been scoring less in integumentary, it clearly says that I need to work more. I need to invest more time after integumentary. So these exams will also help you to know your weak areas, your strength, your stronger areas, and always work on that. Second important thing, whenever you get any equation incorrect, just go through the rationale. That is very, very important, extremely important. If you are just appearing for the examination without considering the rationals or without considering that in which areas you are lacking, this practice exams will not help you out. So be very clear that you need to do that as well. Okay, few of the tips from my side. First thing is have a very fresh start. When I say fresh start, what do I mean? See, if you have made up your mind that you are going to appear for NPTE, let's say in the coming year, you need to be very positive about it. Why? Because see, if you will start it as a big weight on your shoulder, you are going to feel that weight throughout your journey. But be light, try to enjoy this journey. Why? See, because this is a journey in which you will get to know so many new things. You will be able to clear your concepts in a better way. Now, this concepts, this knowledge, this intelligence will not only help you to go through the NPTE examination, but will also help you in the future when you are dealing with your patients. Let's say if you're into academics, it will help you to teach your students in a better way. So always start this journey with a very fresh mindset, with a lot of positivity, because this is going to take you a level higher. So be very positive. Second, I have already emphasized a lot on this. You need to have a lot of mental as well as physical endurance. See, other than practice exam, as you start with the preparation, you are not directly going to appear for practice exams, right? Unless you are not ready for it, you won't be going for that. But how can you prepare your mental and physical endurance before that while preparing? Sit for reading and make sure that you do not get up until it's 5 hours. So sit and read for 5 hours in a stretch. Why? Because for those 5 hours, you need to keep your brain very active. You need to be in one position for 5 hours. In this way, on the day of examination, it will be very, very easy for you to like I can say that appear for the exam and come up with flying colors, because now you have trained your brain as well as your physics in a way that you will be able to be there for 5 hours. Second important thing, why mental endurance is very important. See, I have been mentoring students and I have found that there are students who are very good, who are very knowledgeable. But when it comes to last sections, fourth section or fifth section, they give up mentally or physically. And that's why whatever they have here, they are not able to use it maximally. See, if you have here, if you are reading, but not in a way that you are developing endurance, having knowledge here will not be reflected in your result unless you have the endurance. So endurance is very, very important thing. Start working on it now itself. Know your learning style, extremely important. Okay. Thank you for this. It looks more beautiful now. Okay. See, these are the common learning style, and I guess most of you would be aware about it. You need to know which type of learner you are. That which type of learning style helps you to memorize things, helps you to retain things into your memory. And once you are clear with this, you can approach a content in that specific way. So if you're aware about your learning style, start exploring it more and more. And if you are still not aware about your learning style, start exploring all the available styles and just try to find out which suits you the most. And this will surely help you a lot. See, if you are a visual type of person, your visual learning is better, you always have YouTube videos available. And if you're a visual type of person, if you spend hours after reading or writing and you feel that, okay, you will be able to learn it, you will be able to retain it, no, it will not work because that's not your style. So know your style. If you're an auditory type of person, there are n number of podcasts available related to physical therapy, related to NPTE preparation. You can always go and listen to that. If you are a person who gets things better with reading and writing, you always have that option open. You can explore it more and more. If you're a person who gets things learned by kinesthesia, you can always try to perform on your body. You try to feel it more and more, and then you will never forget it. Remember my words, know your learning style and start learning in that way. It will work like magic. Reduce distractor, extremely important. Until and unless you are not reducing your distractor, you will not be utilizing your quality time to the maximum level. So once you have made up your mind that now you have to appear for this examination, do whatever it takes for you to stay away from the distractor and invest your maximum time in preparation. Okay. Sincerity is the key. Have a timetable. Okay, when I talk about timetable, it is not in a way that, okay, today I'm going to learn about musculoskeletal, tomorrow I'll be covering neuro, day after tomorrow, cardiorespy. No, I'm talking about daily timetable in a way that, see, this is what I have been practicing with my students and it is actually working very well. I have a timetable for a day in which I divide the entire day into 48 slots of 30 minutes. So each slot of 30 minutes. So in 24 hours, you'll be having 48 slots. I just ask my students to mention in one word what they have done in that specific 30 minutes. If they were sleeping, just mention sleep. If you were busy reading, just mention read. If you are cooking, mention cooking. Be very clear, but just use one word. Why? Because there are many housewives whom I am training for NPTE examination. They say that, okay, when I start with cooking, I feel that I'll be able to finish it up in an hour. But then I realize that it's been 3 hours. So when you have this kind of timetable, this will help you a lot in keeping eye over where you are investing your time. And at the end of the day, just calculate how many hours were productive, how many hours were non-productive. Also, if you feel that, okay, you are spending 3 hours in cooking, try to reduce it. Try to have khichdi for a couple of days when you feel that you have wasted your time in other activities. So have this kind of timetable, be very sincere, be very regular when it comes to reading. Invest your time wisely. When I say invest your time wisely, I'm emphasizing more and more on that outline. If you feel that you are not very clear with professional responsibilities, let's say, and you spend 1 week after reading professional responsibilities only, just a month before examination, then you need to be very wise in deciding whether spending 1 week after professional responsibilities will yield me result or not, or rather I should just leave it and invest my time after more fruitful things. So whenever you are investing your time, you need to be very precise after what you are investing. Okay, use highlighter. This is very important. Okay, the thing is, see, you will be having so many content to read. Okay, this is what had happened to me, and I'm pretty sure it would have happened to all the students who have appeared for NPTE and will happen to the students who will be appearing for the examination in future. Whenever you are reading, you use the highlighter, right? Okay, everyone does that. But NPTE has got so much vast content that, let's say you have been preparing for it from last 6 months and you have read almost everything, but a month before you do not have enough time to revise it. And when you do not revise, it decreases your confidence level to very, very great extent. Believe me, if you do not revise, it will decrease your confidence. I'm emphasizing again, if you will not revise, it does not decrease your knowledge or intelligence, but it affects your confidence level badly. You would have something here, but your confidence level will not let it come out. That's why, how to overcome this? Nothing, just fool your brain by revising. Now, how can you revise? You need to have very good highlighting skills. If you are going to highlight the whole of your page, it will be impossible for you to revise it again and again. I asked my students to use a specific color highlighter when you are going for first revision. When you're going for second revision, use another color of highlighter. As your number of revisions will increase, the content that you are highlighting will come down. So just a week before examination, even if you wish to go through all of this book, it will be possible for you. So use highlighters very, very wisely. Make a list of weak areas. As you will go through the practice exams, you will surely come to know about your weak areas. Also, as you will be reading more and more, as you will be going for revision sessions, give me a minute. As you will be going through your revision sessions, you would feel that, okay, this is the content Even if I revise it repeatedly, I'm still not able to get it. Now that is your weak areas. Always have a list of weak areas, not list, a mental list. I'm talking about a physical list with a pen and paper. Why? Because until and unless you will not note it down, it will be here and it will increase your stress. I feel that I am not good in stroke. I'm going to read it someday. If that day does not come, it will stress me a lot. But if I've written it somewhere and I'll just have a look at the weak areas, I'll feel like, okay, these are the weak areas. These are the things which I need to focus. If I'm done with this, I'm good for the exam. So always have a list of weak areas and try to convert your weakness into strength. And there is always a scope to do this. Why? See, if I know a content very well and if I'll read it, I'll feel that I know it. I do not need to go in detail of it. This will happen with everyone. But if I'll go through a content, which is my weakness, I realize that, okay, I lack a lot in this. I need to read a lot in this. So I'll start reading from basic. And in this way, I will be able to convert my weakness into my strength and always do that. Okay. Always try to understand the concept. Do not try to memorize the concept. This is very, very, very important. Okay. See, as you will go through your review guides, what you will find is what you should do. Let's say, I'll take a very simple example. In order to improve shoulder abduction range of motion, you need to give inferior midline glide. That this is the information that would be mentioned in therapy. But why only inferior glide? So you need to know your concave convex rule. You need to know the congruency of your glenohumeral joint. So once you are clear with concave convex rule and the congruency of all the major joints of your body, whenever you get any question related to mobilization, you will be able to crack it. For that, you do not need to memorize that. You need to give, okay, inferior glide for abduction. No, you do not need to memorize. You just need to know the concepts. And therapy aid will answer what you have to do. It will always answer what. But whenever you are preparing for this type of exam, you yourself have to question how and why. Why should I do this? How should I do this? So when you will have answer to this question, your concepts will get stronger and stronger, and no one can stop you from clearing the exam. Trust me. Okay. 10th tip is you need to memorize. I just said you do not need to memorize. You just need to know the concept. You just need to understand the concept. But you will be having 250 questions in 5 hours. If every time, I'll stick to the second example, mobilization, if every time I need to think, okay, to improve shoulder abduction range of motion, I need to recall concave convex rule. I need to recall what's the congruency of glenohumeral joint. And accordingly, if I assume that, okay, as it is going up, it is gliding down, I need to give inferior glide. No, I'll not be having this much time in the exam. So with time, as you're preparing more and more, you need to memorize few things like this, okay? Second things that you have to memorize, you have no option for that, is normal values and abnormal values, lab values, LDL value, HDL value, cholesterol value, hypertension classification, gold classification for COPD. These things you have to memorize. You have no other option for that, because whatever it is, you need to know it in the similar way. There is no concept behind it. Obviously, there would be a concept, but not important for you. So just memorize those things. And this memorization will help you to answer the question quickly and will save your time. So be very wise in deciding whether you have to memorize it or understand it, or you need to know both, okay? Believe me, if you will work hard and you will have self-belief, if you have confidence, you will be able to clear the exam. People are clearing, you can also. Fight till the end. Why this is important? See, many times it would happen that initial sections, you are not sure with your answers. You feel that, okay, your exam went really bad and you are not sure about coming sections also. And you give up in between. Never ever give up. Fight till the last question. You never know. The coming section will be pretty much easier for you. In the same way, initially, if you feel that, okay, initial sections were pretty easy, the coming section will be easy. Do not underestimate also. The coming section might be very difficult as well. But treat each and every question with full energy and full dedication. And never, ever, ever give up during the exam. Don't ever do that. Very important thing, once you are done with examination or you are asking for tips from someone who has already cleared an examination, never ever discuss the questions because this is against the rule. So never disclose or never ask anyone to disclose the question that they have faced in the examination. Okay. So that's all from my side. And if you have any questions regarding NPTE preparation, you can always reach me out at this email ID. I'll be very happy to help you out. And if you are aiming for NPTE, I just want you to be at this place, the ones who did in black. And I want to proudly say that, okay, that's the one who has cleared NPTE. Very good luck to all of you. If you have any questions, I'm there to help you. Thank you.
Thank you, Shivani ma'am, for sharing such a wonderful information and experience to all of participants. And this session is not only the getting a knowledge, but again with the motivation also to clear the such a exam. Okay, and now we have a question answer round, and we have a few questions in our chat box. So first question that we have that can we do a doctorate program after BPT in India?
So yes, and there is a misconception about doctorate and PhD. In US, it's a different thing. When it comes to healthcare, a doctorate degree is different and a PhD is different. So yes, you can definitely do a doctorate after your BPT. You don't need a master's for that. The application process is a little different, but yes, the simple answer is yes, you can do it. If you have questions, you can reach out to me. After this, I'll share my email address. I just finished my doctorate, so I can tell you it is not easy, but it is fun. Yes, if you have to choose and if you can financially afford to do it, if that's your priority, go for doctorate. Yeah.
Thank you, Karishma. Our second question that we have, can we apply for license exam if we have 2 to 3 years of break after MPT?
I don't think there's a time limit. I've heard people apply after 10 years of break, 15 years of break. As long as you have an active credential evaluation, as long as the state you are applying to accepts that evaluation, you can apply for it. And as long as you haven't used your 6 maximum lifetime attempts, you can apply for it.
Okay, thank you. One more question we have that are you eligible for NPTEL after BPT?
So basically for that, you have to go for the credentials. And if according to the CWT-5, there were only 1 laking credit, but according to the CWT-6, if you're applying, you have to clear your credits first, and then only you can able to eligible for the exam.
Okay. One more question. What are the documents that we require to apply for this license exam from the university as well as from the institute side?
So from the institute side, I know about the FCCPT. They required your mark sheets, your transcript, syllabus, course completion certificates, and your internship completion certificate and degree certificate. So these are the major documents which required from your university. And if they need any additional document, they will request it to you.
Okay. So if anybody have any doubts or question, please put your question into the chat box.
Hemal, sir, I think I read on.
Yes, Prakash sir.
I'll just post
Okay.
it came to me personally. Yes,
Hello.
Yeah. Yes, Karishma.
Hemal, sir, I think I read on the chat box, and I think somebody with the name Redmi,
Okay.
the person asked that, can you take NPT after 2-3 years of break? I think they're going for the Masters in physical therapy, I don't think they were asking for the NPT, but the answer is still yes. Yes, even if you want to go for a master's program, it doesn't matter. It does not have to be an immediate move after your bachelor's. You can get work experience in India or whatever you want. That's okay. Nobody is gonna ask you like, at least not during your college applications. They're not gonna ask you. Yeah, during your visa application, they will ask you what were you doing for that break period. As long as you can justify your answer, you're good. They'll accept you.
Okay, thank you. One more question that we have, what's the difference between the DPT and the MPT in USA, and what is DPT?
So initially, the thing in US is you cannot do your physical therapy or your dental or anything in your undergrad. Everybody in their undergrad studies goes for biology major. Once you finish your undergrad in biology, that's when you choose. Like what we do after our 12th, that is what they do after their undergrad. They choose either dental, med school, physical therapy. All of that comes in your master's program. The difference between MPT and DPT is the intensity of the program is different. The subjects and the amount of things covered is different. And initially in US, I think it was till 2010, if I'm not wrong. I'm not very accurate about this, but this is to the best of my knowledge. Physical therapy was done only as a master's program. There was not a doctorate. And then they transitioned from that to a doctorate program to make it more intense, to cover a larger, wider scope, give you more clinical exposure and all that. So you still get clinical exposure in MPT as well, but doctorate is a very wide like experience and knowledge wise.
Okay, thank you. One question is for Shivani Bhatt. If we have having a immigration visa, shall we require a GRE or TOEFL?
Sir, I think Karishma would be the better candidate to answer this,
Okay,
as she has gone through this procedure.
Okay.
So
Yes.
Okay.
if you have immigration visa, you won't require GRE TOEFL. If you require GRE TOEFL if you want to study here, period. It does not matter if you are a green card citizen or a international student. It doesn't matter. If you want to study here, you'll require GRE. TOEFL you'll require because your undergrad was from a country which does not have English as a first language. So that's the reason why you require TOEFL. But if you, even if you're a citizen in US, if you're born and raised citizen in US, and if you want to study for your master's or your doctorate or PhD, you require your GRE.
I would like to add something at this point of time. If it comes to TOEFL, see, I didn't go for any studies in the United States. However, I did appear for TOEFL. It all depends on the state that you are planning to appear for the exam. Even if whether you are considering studying or not, but if you are planning for the examination, it solely depends on the state for which you will be appearing. So you need to be very clear in regards to which state you are planning for, and if your state demands, yes, you need to go for TOEFL, and GRE is important only when you are planning for studying. I hope I have answered your question.
Sorry. Additionally, I'm just adding on that the state California, which requires a TOEFL for the credential, New York and Texas also require a TOEFL to sit into to get the license. So that's the thing.
Make sure your TOEFL scores are good, because like Bhuvnesh said, Texas specifically requires a certain amount of score in each section. Like they require 26, I think, in speaking, 24 or 26 in writing as well. So it's not just important to appear for the exam, it is very important to make sure that you score good. When it comes to using your TOEFL for your licensure exams, TOEFL is more important than GRE. When it comes to admissions for your master's or doctorate program, GRE is more important.
Okay, one more question that we have. Is there any attempt limitation for exam? Limitation?
Sure, sir. You can appeal for 6 attempts in all. The exam is conducted every 3 months. So usually it is like you have it in the month of January, then April, then July, and then in the October. However, if you have appeared for 3 consecutive attempts, you are not allowed to appear for the 4th attempt. You need to have a break in between, and then you can go ahead with your remaining attempts. many a times if you are not able to complete or not able to clear your exam in the available 6 attempts, you can always ask for kind of mercy attempt in which you request them to give you one chance more, and if they approve this, you will be getting one more chance to appear for this exam.
Okay.
There's something about score too. If you are scored below 400 2 times, then you won't be able to eligible for the next exam too.
And the other thing that I forgot to cover was many people want to know whether to go for TOEFL or IELTS. If you are only focused on USA, go for TOEFL. All the universities in USA will accept TOEFL. Some of them also accept IELTS, but TOEFL is the one which is widely accepted. But if you're keeping your options open like US, Canada, Australia, then go for IELTS, because Canada and I think Australia cover IELTS more rather than TOEFL.
Okay. One more question that we have is, when should one start preparing for the exam?
It is always sooner the better. The sooner you start, the better more time you will get to be comfortable with the content. So I always say that if you have once decided that if anyway in the tomorrow you will be appearing for this exam, start preparing from now.
Okay. So is there any difference if somebody is coming after BPT or if somebody is coming after MPT then from India?
Like for the exams or
Yeah, for exam.
not really.
Regarding the credential evaluation or the scoring.
I don't think so. Like you'll have more credits for sure, but if like I think I noticed on Bhuvnesh, like his evaluation report, like even after he had completed his MPT, certain subjects were still lacking. So yes, you'll like if you finish your MPT, you'll have more credits. But if there are lacking subjects, I think it doesn't matter. If your MPT hasn't covered that, then you still have to finish those.
Okay. One more
I would like
question.
to add
Yeah.
something to this. The thing is, if you are planning to come on student visa, and if you have to go for type 1 review, you will need master's degree. See, even if you will be able to clear the exam, you will not be given your license unless you have your master degrees. So in that way, I would advise that although MPT will not add up to your credits to a very great extent, still it will help you to get the license after clearing the exam.
So there's one more. I think Bala sir asked a question in the chat. He said, "Can anybody highlight on the package and various positions as like PTA?" So I did. I did clear my PTA exam first, and then I went for my PT license exam. My sole purpose was because I was here on a student visa. I needed a license to start practicing after I graduate, because I can only be unemployed for a certain period. So I did clear my PTA license exam in January 2017, and I had secured a job. I started working as a PTA. I think I worked as a PTA for a couple of months, I think 4 or 5 months. And then I gave my in PT exam in July 2017, and I cleared that, and I transitioned from PTA to PT. The difference is a lot of states, and not many people know this, a lot of states will actually allow you to take your PTA exam based upon your PT credential evaluation. So let's say if you are applying for the state of Texas, and if you are eligible to appear for PT license exam for Texas, and if you ask, like if you reach out to the board, make an application for PTA exam, then even without going through the entire credential process again, they will let you appear for the PTA exam. Yes, PTA exam is easier than PT exam, but you cannot get a work visa. You cannot get H-1B work visa by becoming a PTA. You need a PT license to to practice on a H-1B work visa. But definitely, if you want to gain some experience, clinical hands-on experience, especially for the field, like for topics like ethics and all that in US, you can start as PTA. Once you feel more confident, go appear for your PT exam.
Okay. Thank you. I think we have a time limit up to 6:30. So here we end with the session. And if you have any question or answer, you can directly contact to our 3 alumni from the Facebook or from the email ID?
I have, I forgot to mention my email address. I just
Yeah.
added that on the chat box. So if anybody has a question, you can please always feel free. And I'm also on social media. I might not reply immediately, but I'm pretty good at replying back.
Okay, so thank you all the three speakers from our ARIP alumni to sharing your knowledge and experience regarding the license exam in USA. Definitely this will help to many of us, those who are planning to come to USA and becoming a licensed examiner or a physiotherapist in USA. At the end, I like to call Prakash sir to share few words to all of us.
It was just a second. Okay, it was so wonderful to listen all three of you. I'm very happy in terms of the clarity with which all of you have explained, and it's very focused and within the time that is given. And it's I think you all have a stick with in terms of the information to be provided at the same time how clearly that can be provided. So it's a very happy to see, and I hope all of you, all others who have attended, find it useful. And as if some of you joined in the middle, you can always look into our YouTube link of all this. This will be available in YouTube, so you can go back and get to the more information if you want. Thank you, Karishma, Bhunesh, and Shivani.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
On the behalf of Ashoka Rita Patel Institute of Physiotherapy and the CHARUSAT, I would like to thank all the participants as well as thanks to all the three alumni for getting this webinar successful. Thank you, all of you.